Today we're going to be talking about an eating disorder that is prevalent in the type 1 diabetes community, diabulimia. So today I'm speaking with Amy, who's a great friend of mine, and she's also the newest addition to the We Are Diabetes staff. She's our social media expert. Amy, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So Amy writes and researches a lot about this topic, which is why I thought she'd be one of the perfect people to discuss this topic with me today. Amy, can you explain to people who are watching, what is diabulimia?
Diabulimia is a media-coined term used to describe eating disorder behaviors with people who have type 1 diabetes. Mostly it's talking about insulin manipulation, abusing your insulin in order to lose weight. But diabulimia is sort of a misleading term because not all people who engage in this
are just skipping their insulin.
And they are not necessarily diagnosed with bulimia. So we really try, in order to encompass the diverse group here, we try to use the acronym ED-DMT1, stands for Eating Disorder and Diabetes Type 1.
Thank you. That's good to know. And it's also good to know for the people that are watching that if you are a type 1 diabetic and you do have an eating disorder, it doesn't necessarily mean you are diabulimic or that you have diabulimia.
Correct.
Do you have a personal connection with this type of eating disorder?
Yes, I had an eating disorder. Started when I was 16. I went to treatment when I was 19 and was in treatment for several years. But I would say I've been in recovery for about 3 or 4 years.
I would agree with that. And actually, Amy gave a great presentation where I got to hear a lot more of her personal story with this, and she really has come an amazing way. And I think you might agree with me is that with this eating disorder, I too have personal connections with it. With this eating disorder, not only do we have to overcome the mental illness of eating disordered behaviors, but we also have to learn how to accept our type 1 diabetes on a different level than we have been.
Sure, and it's eating disorder treatment and how you treat diabetes can kind of be at odds with each other. So really finding a balance between, paying attention to what you eat and taking care of your diabetes, but also not becoming obsessed with it. That's important.
So important, very important. What do you think are the main barriers for someone to get treatment with ED-DMT1?
Well, one of the barriers is that most providers, both endocrinologists and those in the diabetes clinic and in eating disorder treatment facilities, just don't know how to treat this because, like I said, the way you treat both of them are kind of at odds with each other. So it's a matter of educating doctors and endocrinologists, therapists who work in the eating disorder community to really understand the kind of unique ways that this problem needs to be treated.
Yes, I think it's a multi-staff or a multi-coaching approach. It's not just one provider that can help this person get over the issue. It's a lot of different types of qualified people.
And the research that has been done about treating it shows that having a multidisciplinary team is important. A dietitian and a diabetes educator, an endocrinologist, a therapist who specializes in eating disorders, those are all important parts to the recovery process.
Exactly. And I will just plug We Are Diabetes, which we are both a part of, and say that if someone watching this is struggling, We Are Diabetes can help you find that team, whether it be all together, all encompassing in a treatment center, or if we have to mix and match and find all those types of providers to get you the care that you need, that's what we do. So what is your advice to a type 1 diabetic who may be watching this who's struggling and doesn't know how to start talking about it?
I think the first step is just telling someone who you know and you trust. Eating disorders thrive on secrecy and shame, and so I think that taking that first step and telling someone about it, someone you trust, is a good place to start. And as difficult as it is, talking to your doctor and letting them know what's going on.
I would agree that's one of the most difficult things.
It is really difficult. I remember the first time I told my endocrinologist what was going on, it took me, 3 years to get there.
Yeah.
And even if it takes you a while, it's important to let your doctors know that what's going on with you and your health.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing to say with that is that if your doctor is not very responsive or if they are dismissive of that does happen once in a while. And there are groups like We Are Diabetes or other doctors that we can help an individual find who may understand how to find that person the help that they need.
And if you do have a doctor who just doesn't understand and is deeming you non-compliant or whatever, there are resources you can bring into your appointment to help you out. We Are Diabetes does have a resource page that you can check out and print things out and bring it in and have your doctor look at those.
Yep, definitely. Thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for sharing all this important information with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.